System Shock 2, originally released in August of 1999. It has only been available for PC platforms, though that does include Windows, Mac, and Linux. Supposedly, several console ports were planned, however, none of them made it to release. It is currently available through both GOG and Steam, retailing for $9.99. And these versions work perfectly on modern PC hardware. System Shock 2 is a hybrid first-person shooter role-playing game. And starting out, you get to choose which branch of the space military you belong to. The Marines, the Navy, or the OSA. The Marines are more focused on weapons, the Navy more on technical skills, and the OSA is focused on psychic abilities. Once you've selected your branch, you then get to decide what assignments you had over the next 3 years. Each year you get to pick from 3. And it's worth noting that these assignments don't just affect your skills and stats, but will sometimes give you the bonus of an item when you actually start the game proper. And your choices in character creation matter. This is not a game that is friendly to someone trying to play a generalist build. You need to decide fairly early on what you're going to specialize in. For example, if you take the Marines or Navy, it's likely you will never use any psychic abilities in the game, as acquiring them is very expensive. And the resource for leveling up your skills and stats is very, very finite. Once the game starts, you find yourself waking up from cryosleep. You are aboard the Von Braun, a spaceship that very bad things have happened on. Everyone you find is either no longer with us, or has been infected by some manner of alien parasite or disease. They're apparently unwilling hosts, as they frequently will apologize and tell you to run. You will be contacted by seemingly the only other survivor. They will tell you what the next thing you need to do is. And frequently, when that thing seems really easy, it will turn out there's some other huge barrier in your way that you need to overcome first. Perhaps you'll need to find a key, or find the way around a ruined part of the ship, pump the air vents full of a poison to remove a biologic barrier in the way. Every task usually has a few ways you can deal with it, and yes, some ways are easier than others, but if you're not specialized in one thing or another, none of them will be available to you. Because trying to be a generalist in this game will paint you into a corner. And depending on how you build your character, there are many different options available to you during gameplay. Of course, you have the option of violence. There are several different weapon skills in this game, depending what you're using. And you do need to have enough skill to use a particular weapon. And weapons do degrade with use, though you do have options for repairing them. And you can also modify weapons with the right skills. You can hack various pieces of technology, lockpick various containers and doors, and if you went the psychic route, you have all kinds of strange options. Though using psychic ability does drain its own meter, but psychic abilities don't degrade over time, meaning that they're a trade-off from using more traditional weapons. The ship itself is actually hostile towards you. Any turrets set up around the ship will fire upon you. Robots will attack you, or try to chase you down and explode. And if you're seen too long in a security camera, it will trigger an alert, and lots of things will come looking for you. You do get notified by a sound when you're seen by a security camera, and it's in your best interest to simply destroy security cameras. There is a pretty good story in play here, and it actually relates back to the first System Shock, and the game assumes you're somewhat familiar with that. Even if you aren't, the game tells you enough that you can understand what's going on. Though you'll definitely catch a lot more little things if you are familiar with the first game. And of course, System Shock 2 is famous for one particular twist. If you don't know what it is, I'm not going to spoil it here. But when it does happen, it does change one of the voices contacting you in the game. As early on, the person telling you what needs done is actually supportive of what you're doing.
Damn, something's blocking the shaft, and the elevator can't reach deck 4. I'm attempting to determine. I'm detecting massive quantities of some.
While the aliens you're dealing with are some kind of hive mind and are contacting you with some kind of latent psychic ability. They will alternate between threatening you and trying to seduce you to their side, even at times showing you psychic vision.
Do you not trust the feelings of the flesh? Our biology yearns to join with yours. We welcome you to our nest. But you puzzle us. Why do...
But after the twist happens, even the voice telling you what to do is hostile towards you. So is System Shock 2 worth your time and money? Well, it is rightfully considered a PC gaming classic, and for years it was very hard to track down a copy of it, and it was also difficult to get it to play on more modern hardware. And now it's available on Steam at an extremely low price of only $10. And it's in a form that will have no trouble running on virtually any modern computer. This game also has a great deal of replay value, as depending on how exactly you build your character, your experience will be vastly different. This game has also inspired many other games. Deus Ex, BioShock, Dead Space, Prey, owe a great deal to System Shock 2. And that's only the tip of the iceberg for things that take inspiration from System Shock 2, and doesn't even get into games that have straight up ripped it off. While it is not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, the weapons degrade just a little too fast. On rare occasions you need very particular skills to progress, and depending on how you've built your character, and how closely you've been paying attention, you may not be able to actually get that skill. But if that does happen, it's really kind of your own fault. This game is also the second appearance of the greatest PC villain ever, Shodan, an evil AI that actually is responsible for both her current situation and the situation aboard the Von Braun throughout the game. And she'll rant and rave at you as she tells you what needs done, because you're a lesser being, an insect, but without your help she can't actually accomplish anything. And despite her assumed superiority, she has no way around that fact. So yes, I obviously do recommend System Shock 2. It's an amazing PC gaming experience that's available at a rock-bottom price, and it doesn't require any particularly impressive hardware to run. So it is an experience that any gamer both can and absolutely should have. And worst case scenario, if you're not really into System Shock 2, you can find a game pig inside the game and play many other games in there, like knockoff Minesweeper. Please do subscribe, comment, like, and tell your friends.